Hi everybody, I'm Dan Wells. I write horror, fantasy, and science fiction, and I talk about games on the internet. Today we're going back to Pathfinder to talk about the Pathfinder Bestiary, which is the monster manual for Pathfinder. And I will warn you up front, I don't have much to say about this book. It is a monster manual. It's a very good one, and it has a lot of good stuff going for it, but it doesn't have a lot of innovation that would be interesting to talk about. And so we're just going to hit some highlights, and we're going to tell you why I think it's a really good monster manual, and then we're going to be done. We're going to be in and out of here in like 5 minutes. So here we go. Let's have a look at the Pathfinder Bestiary. So first of all, it's enormous. Okay, I don't have a physical version to show you. I just have the PDF, but it's at least twice the size of the D&D 5e monster manual. And so there's a lot of stuff in here, and just an absolute mountain of monster stats. If I were to rank this among monster manuals, I would put it as, honestly, above the D&D 5 monster manual. I think it is larger. I think it is more useful than that one. On the other hand, it's not quite as good as the Starfinder Alien Archive. The one in Starfinder adds so much more than just monster stats. It adds new player races, it adds new equipment, it adds new ships, it adds new everything, in addition to just being a bunch of monsters you can fight. This one is just monsters you can fight, and that's it. There's nothing else in it. But it has a ton of new monsters you can fight, and they're all really good. So first of all, let's go through here, and let's take a look at some of the art. We're going to start with art because the art in here is just unbelievably great. I just love the art style. I love everything about this. The other thing that I want to show you is that it's organized very differently, and that's, I think, if we're going to talk about an innovation in Monster Manual, that's the one that the Pathfinder Bestiary has that really does make it stand out. So, for example, we start with Aeons, and this thing is not an Aeon. This is a type of Aeon called an Arbiter. Okay? And so there are many different kinds of Aeons, and they all group together. There's an Arbiter, there's an Axiomite, there is a Colia root, and a Pleroma. Like, there's all these different kinds of Aeons, and then we finally get to the end, and we get to, now we move on to a different kind of creature, which is the Algolthu. And so all of the demons are together in one place. All of the angels are together in one place. All of the apes are together in one place. And that's great. That is a really nice way of categorizing everything. Also, there is an index at the back that group things by creature type, which is not necessarily a new innovation. Most monster manuals do that. But if you want to have everything, if you want to know what all of the angels are, they're all in one place in the book. If you want to know what all of the dragons are, everything that has the dragon type, all of the actual straight-up dragons are all in one place in the book. But everything that has dragon as a type, everything that has aberration as a type, those are also grouped in the index. So you can say, well, I really want my player characters to fight a beast this time around, and you can find something like that. So anyway, yay! Now, one of the other things that I like a lot is that many of these monster listings will include multiple versions of the same thing, which is really handy. And so let me actually find here, and I'm not going to click around, Barghest. Barghest is actually an old kind of European, I think might even be specifically British, monster that's kind of like a werewolf. And they've got the level 4 Barghest, and then they have a level 7 Barghest. And if you want to fight a Barghest, you can choose which level is going to be the most valuable to you, which is, that's great. And that is true. I mean, I use the Barghest because I like it and because it's right at the front of the book. But this stays true for monsters all through the whole book. And I think that that's really neat. So hooray for that. It gives GMs a lot more options. It's one of the reasons why the book is so large. Not only is there a wide variety of monsters you can fight, but there's a lot of variety within the monster. So if you really want to fight a Barghest, but your player characters are already tough enough that a level 4 would not challenge them in any way, well, there's a level 7. Or you throw multiple 4s at them. Or, however it is that you want to balance that encounter. Now, one other thing, if I were to make a complaint about this book, it would be this. It has demons spelled with an A, and there's a whole category, and there's like 6 or 7 demons spelled with an A. And then there are demons not spelled with an A, and they're a whole category, and there's 6 or 7 of those. And even having read through the whole section, through both sections, I can't figure out why they're separate or what the difference is. And I know the comments are going to be filled with people telling me that, I'm dumb because they understood it immediately. It just feels like an unnecessary complication to have both demons and daemons, however you want to pronounce that. Like, couldn't you come up with a better name for them? Anyway, there you go. There's a bunch of them. Dragons. Let's just show off some of the dragons since, that is... The art is so beautiful in this game. They've really gone above and beyond. There's so much art, and it looks so great. All the dragon designs are very different. They're not just... look at this. It's not just 2 different colors of dragon. Everything about these dragons is unique. They look different, and that gives you suggestions as to how they will behave differently and what they're going to be like to fight and the kinds of threat that they possess. So just huge kudos to them for the art in this monster manual. So we could go deeper into this and I could show you the back half of the alphabet, but honestly, it's all more or less the same level of quality. The organization is really cool. The art is fabulous. The monsters are really well balanced. And I actually suspect, having played a little bit of this and having played a lot of D&D 5, that it is, in my experience, actually a little easier to balance an encounter in Pathfinder 2 than it is in D&D 5. And so that's good. That's one of the areas where the really good crunchiness of Pathfinder 2 comes in super handy. You know exactly what you're getting into. The balance system and the balance formula is a little simpler. So anyway, like I told you in the beginning, this is a short review, but it is a positive review. Aside from my one stupid, nitpicky complaint about demons and daemons, everything about this book is wonderful. It's not as varied in its utility as the Starfinder Bestiary is, the Alien Archive, but it is absolutely useful and extremely useful as a monster manual. And so, get it. If you play Pathfinder, you basically need this book. There's no way around it. And I don't know of anyone who would. I can't think of any reason not to get this book. It does one thing, and it does it super, super well. So anyway, hooray for the Pathfinder Bestiary. Go pick this up. It's wonderful. Thank you for watching. I'm Dan Wells, and you are awesome.